It's a variety which is quite, um, it's, let's say, in the Pinot Noir family, but it's very strongly related to Syrah. So you can say Foradori, it's the uncle of Syrah. And between Syrah and Foradori there are Mondeuse and Durezza, which are the two alpine varieties. Usually the Teroldego was used to make wine in bulks, and let's say since the 80s, when my mother took over the property, she concentrated also by changing the pruning system on, let's say, more quality wines.
More natural as well?
That was then later on. So at the beginning it was, I mean, in the 80s everybody wanted to drink cab and this big stuff, and at the beginning she was making a very big Teroldego also in new oak in order to show the potential. This was like the first step in order to bring out, let's say, a more international character, and this was like the game of the 80s because nobody was talking at that time about natural wines, and so you were kind of forced by the market to do that. So what she did together with my father, and that was her let's say brilliant vision, was to let's say redefine the genetics of Teroldego. Teroldego at that time was only, if you went to a nursery, you just had the possibility to get Teroldego from clonal material, and the clones were very bad, big grapes, very compact grapes, so basically they were designed for bulk wines. And she went into old vineyards, choosing very small, less compact grapes in order to bring out the more, let's say, deeper character of this variety. It's just a fruity expression, but a bit more. And so this was, let's say, the first step in order to change the whole approach to this variety. So after this long work of observation, my mother and my father came out with 15 different types of Teroldego, and they replanted the whole estate with these types. So basically what we have here is genetically totally different plant compared to the rest of our neighbors, which are just working with, most of them are working with clones, and so with material which is less interesting.
So you're the only producer with these clones?
No, these are like registered also on our name, and nobody has them. But nobody wants them also. They are free actually, you can go and buy them, but everybody's fine with the big clones, and so nobody's interested in that. So this was like the very important first step. The second step was 2002, when we decided to work everything biodynamically. That was like the logical consequence of the work on the genetics. So first defining biodiversity on the genetics, and then moving on by changing farming methods. And this had also, in the long term, also reflection on the wine production with less intervention and no added substances. The only exception we add is SO2, so sulfur.
And with the sulfur, nothing in the vineyards, and no copper, nothing?
No, so in the vineyards we are spraying copper because we have a lot of problems of Peronospora, of mildew, but we have not a lot of problems with powdery mildew, so you can say sulfur is very, very
minimal.
Very limited amount. Now here we have quite a lot of rain, so if you don't use copper till now, usually you don't harvest.
Oh, is that bad?
Yes. So it's, I mean, we have 1,000 millimeters of rain per year.
Jeez,
so it's not like Alsace, or it's not like a desert climate where you can live without it.
Even in the summer period, you still get...
Yes, especially in the summer period.
It's very similar
so the driest months are December, January, and February. So
which is peak of winter, yeah.
So we have quite a lot of fun. This year it's a very dry year, but we will see. We will see how it's going on.
Would you say the soil types are quite similar across all your vineyards, or do you more sort of loamy this side,
It depends. So here in this alluvial plain, we have a mix between sandy and let's say more rocky gravel soils. So
Okay.
this parcel is a very sandy parcel, but we have like if you go there, you see the houses there. You go just it's just after these houses we
Yeah.
have lots of gravel. So we have vineyards like Moray where we have
Ah,
a vineyard with less, let's say, organic matter, less, so the soils are not so deep, and
Yeah.
we have a more, let's say, a warmer expression. And in the south, in Fontana Santa, we have we have clay with some dolomite, which is kind of a type of limestone.
yeah.
So here it's alluvial, and there it's typically, typical clay soils, which are also cooler soils. This is the reason why we have the whites.
I mean, I can imagine the cliffs and the mountains have a bit of influence.
Yes, of course, of course. So
For the gravel.
depending on which altitude you are, for example, if you see all that part of the mountain, the middle area, also where you see this little town called Faido, in this area typically you have clay,
Okay.
and in the valley you have either sand or gravel, and then in the middle of the valley, and this is the difference between the Piana Rotagliana, you have very deep and fertile soil, which are also made like with limo. I don't know the translation in English, but kind of very fertile soil for apple orchards and stuff like that. Not good for wines.
So when you harvest, do you ever blend in terms of, obviously your vineyards are very different in terms of composition. Do you like to have single vineyard expression, or do you sometimes...
Yes, so we have during vinification, we have only, we vinify everything separately, and then we have some single vineyards which are made, let's say, separate wines, and then we have also some blends. So it depends which, I'm gonna show you it later in the tasting, how we work. So